Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome back to GDC English classes, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And here we are back again with another set of model paper that we have for NIPER JEE 2020-26, right? So I hope everyone is doing good. Preparation is up to the mark, and you were solving these model paper that we had for you, right? So let's get started with this model paper explanation for you guys. Hana? For the first section that we have for you guys, that's your pharma section. Pharmacology, jurisprudence, prognosy, biochemistry, pharmaceutics, and microbiology. I'll be taking that one, right? Chalo. So let's get started with this one, right? Without any delay. So here we have, that's the first question that we have for you guys from pharmacology, that we have 30 MCQs for you, right? So let's go with the first question that we have. Yeah. So the insulin preparation with longest duration of action they are asking, right? Okay. So insulin glargine, insulin lispro, insulin degludec, or insulin aspart. Okay. What's that case? Yeah. That is nothing but your insulin degludec. Along with insulin degludec, we do have insulin glargine, insulin tetamid, right? These are the ones which are longest duration of action, right? Whereas when I talk about Lispro and well as Aspart, these are your ultra short acting insulin, rapidly acting insulin. All right. So, okay. So the next question. Troglitazone is the drug used in the treatment of what? Okay, the troglitazone, pioglitazone, rosiglitazone. These have been the use of petit mole epilepsy? No. Type 2 diabetes mellitus? Yes. Hyperlipidemia or seasickness? No. So type 2 diabetes mellitus is the condition where this troglitazone, rosiglitazone, pioglitazone, these are nothing but your PPAR gamma activity, right? These are nothing but PPAR gamma activator, right? PPAR gamma activator. So these are being used in your type 2 diabetes mellitus, which are going to increase the insulin sensitivity to the cells, right? Sure. Petit mole epilepsy, if I talk about the petit mole epilepsy, is nothing but your absence seizure, right? That is nothing but your absence seizure, right? Absence seizure. Anna? Absence seizure. Where which drug is useful? Ethosuximide. Ethosuximide is being useful for that, right? Sure. Okay. Now, which alkaloid can be used in the treatment of amoebic disease, guys? Amoebic disease, histolytica amoeba, exactly, Dikshita. Very nice. B, right? So this one, which alkaloidal drug can be used in the treatment of amoebic disease? Is it your emetine, morphine, caffeine, or berberine? Obviously, it would be your emetine only, which is very much useful in your amoebic diseases, right? Shalom. Tissue amoebocytes, luminal aminocytes. Here you can see for intestinal plus extra intestinal. Extra intestinal means onto the liver. And that we have alkaloid, that is nothing but your emetine as well as dehydroemetine. Okay, sure. Now, anti-asthmatic agents, which is not a mast cell stabilizer. Okay, mast cell stabilizer is Carotenoid, terbutaline sulfate, nedocromyl, or sodium chromoglycate. What's that? What's that? Definitely, it would be your terbutaline sulfate only, because it is nothing but your short-acting beta 2 agonist, right? That is why we known to be as this one as a SABA. What's that? SABA. SABA we known for it. Short acting beta 2 agonist, that's your terbutaline. Ketotifen, nidocromyl, and sodium chromoglycate. These are your mast cell stabilizer useful in asthma. Also, they are very much strongly ionized in nature. These mast cell stabilizers are very much strongly ionized in nature, right? Strongly ionized, so they never get absorbed. They never get absorbed. Okay, that is the one thing. All right. Now, which of the following is your cardiotoxic, guys? Cardiotoxic. Is it your cyclophosphamide, methotrexate, mitomycin, or adriamycin? Yeah, Dikshata, right. Is it your cyclophosphamide, methotrexate, mitomycin, or adriamycin? What's that? Yeah, that is obviously your adriamycin. Adriamycin. Cyclophosphamide, that's your, it has two metabolites, aldophosphamide as well as acrolein. Whereas acrolein is responsible for your um, hemorrhagic cystitis, right? Hemorrhagic cystitis, whereas mesna is going to inhibit that alkaloid, and mesna is going to inhibit that active metabolite, है and hence going to prevent that hemorrhagic cystitis. Whereas methotrexate poisoning, if I talk about, in methotrexate poisoning, then folinic acid, folinic acid as well as leucovorin. Leucovorin. These two drugs are very much useful in your methotrexate poisoning. Okay, so now the following anti-epileptic drug is also affecting in maniac depressive illness case. Okay, is it your 𝙂𝙋𝘼𝙏, primidone, phenobarbital, or carbamazepine? What's that? Is there anyone here? Four people are over here. Three people. Okay. Okay. Only Dikshita is going to answer. Guys. Only Dikshita is going to answer. Yeah. The following anti-epileptic drug is also affecting in mania depressive illness. That is your carbamazepine only, right? Carbamazepine is going to be your correct answer. So, Tridanosin can be best described as an anti-protozoal, reverse transcriptase inhibitor, protease inhibitor, beta-lactamase inhibitor. What's that? Yeah. Diadenosine can be best described as an anti-protozoal, reverse transcriptase inhibitor, protease inhibitor, beta-lactamase inhibitor, or what? Diadenosine. Diadenosine is nothing but your reverse transcriptase inhibitor, which is your nothing but antiretroviral agent, right? Antiretroviral agent, right? Useful in HIV. Diadenosine, zamimudine, lamivudine, right? Chalo. Which of the following drug inhibits the DNA gyrase? Yeah, DNA gyrase is very much shown to be effective in causing UTI, right? Urinary tract infection. But there are some drugs which is going to inhibit that DNA gyrase, which is also known to be as your topoisomerase 4. Topoisomerase 4, right? So these fluoroquinolones, yes, fluoroquinolones is going to inhibit this DNA gyrase, right? And if I talk about fluoroquinolones adverse effect, that is nothing but your what? Tendinitis, right? Tendinitis, right? Remember this one as well. Tendinitis is nothing but adverse effect of fluoroquinolones. Penicillin ka adverse effect, that's your 𝘎𝑗𝑟𝑒x reaction. 𝘎𝑗𝑟𝑒x reaction, reaction. Whereas aminoglycoside, that is your ototoxicity maximum, ototoxicity, nephrotoxicity, neurotoxicity. Okay, chalo. Macrolides, these are your motilin receptor antagonists. So GIT motility gets decreased and constipation do occur. Okay, with macrolides. All right, now this one. A normal value of glucose in blood is what? Okay, so they are asking fasting glucose, right? They're asking fasting glucose. So what is the range? Dikshita, chalo, tell me. This is easy, na? 250 to 350 mg, 200 to 250, 100 to 200, or 100 to 120. What's that? Ah, Dikshita, chalo, tell me. What's the correct one over here? For normal glucose, that would be around how much? That would be around, yes, exactly, 100 to 120 mg percentage. Where if I talk about HbA1c, right? HbA1c, glycated hemoglobin. Glycated hemoglobin, and that is what? If 6 to 8 percentage, sorry, 6 to 8 gram percentage, then it would be your diabetic condition. then it would be your diabetic condition, which gives you around 4 months of average. 4 months of average of glucose level, right? HbA1c. Below 6, then your patient is normal, right? Normal. Now, which of the following is not an action of TXA2? Okay, TXA2 is synthesized by thromboxane synthase, है ना? Through arachidonic acid pathway only. So TXA2 bronchoconstriction, vasoconstriction, hypotension, or platelet aggregation. Is not an action of TXA2 guys. Not. Yeah. Bronchoconstriction, vasoconstriction, hypotension, or platelet aggregation. That is nothing but your hypotension. It doesn't cause hypotension, but may increase the BP. How? Because vasoconstriction will be leading towards platelet aggregation will be leading towards the high BP, right? And what is the inhibitor of TXA2? Can anyone tell me that? Which drug is considered to be as the thromboxane inhibitor? Anyone? Tell me into the comment section. Tell me into the comment section. The area under the curve AUC represents what? Area under the curve AUC represents what? T half of the drug, VD of the drug, amount of drug absorbed, or amount of drug excreted in urine. Drug. There's drug over here. Yeah, this one. This one is the area under the curve AUC represent T half of the drug, VD of the drug, amount of drug absorbed, amount of drug excreted in urine. What's that? Yep, that is nothing but your amount of drug absorbed. Okay, sure. Phase 1 clinical trial is performed on Phase 1 healthy animals, healthy human, diseased animal, diseased human. Yes, Phase 1 clinical trial is performed on. Phase 1 clinical trial is also known to be as your human pharmacology and safety reaction. Safety trial, human pharmacology and safety trial, right? Safety trial. So what it would be? On healthy animals, healthy human, diseased animal, diseased human. Obviously, it would be on healthy humans. Maximum 20 to 30 individuals are being taken in a healthy manner. So that's why healthy human going to be taken. Whereas also one more thing, maximum tolerable dose, Hana, MTD. MTD, maximum tolerable dose can also be identified in phase 1 clinical trial as well. And that is was your question of GPAT 2026, if you remember, right? Sure. Vigabatrin is a newer antileptic drug is what? GABA agonist, GABA antagonist, NMDA antagonist, or calcium inhibitor. Yeah, what's that? Vigabatrin is a newer anti-epileptic drug. GABA agonist, GABA antagonist, NMDA antagonist, or calcium inhibitor. What's that? How is that is your GABA antagonist, obviously. Vigabatrin, that is your nothing but GABA transaminase enzyme inhibitor. That is your GABA transaminase enzyme inhibitor, right? Transaminase enzyme inhibitor. So GABA antagonist be right. Sure. Okay. Shortest acting muscle relaxant. Okay. Shortest acting muscle relaxant. Is it a Curare, pancuranium, galamine, or succinylcholine? Yeah. Tell me that. Anyone? Yeah. Shortest acting muscle relaxant, is it a Curare, pancuranium, galamine, succinylcholine? What's that? That is nothing but your succinylcholine only. Okay? Sure. Fine. Now, oral hypoglycemic with anorectic action used in obese patient. Okay? Obese patient over here. है ना? So, oral hypoglycemic with anorectic action. Anorectic action means decreasing the appetite. Decreasing your appetite, right? appetite. Used in obese patient. That's, healthy most patient. है ना? So it is your glibenclamide, glipizide, metformin, or troglitazone. That would be your. You remember that trick most, right? Is used in obese patients. Sulfonylurea is also used in thin patient, right? So M for O means most may they are obese may they are being used. Sorry. So that's why metformin is going to be used in obese kind of patient, right? So that you have to remember. Okay. Orlistat is effective. Orlistat is effective in obesity by. Okay. Orlistat is effective in obesity by reduction of food intake, beta 1 adrenoreceptor agonistic activity, inhibition of pancreatic lipase, और 5-HT receptor agonistic. Act क्या होता है? Yeah, agonist activity. Yeah, over here, orlistat is your inhibition of pancreatic lipase. Yeah. Now this one, buspirone is used in the treatment of psychosis, addiction, anxiety, or depression. What's that, guys? Yeah. Buspirone is used in the treatment of psychosis, addiction, anxiety. Obviously, that's your buspirone. It's nothing but your japirons, right? Azapirons. These are nothing but 5-HT1 AC, है ना? 5-HT1A AC partial agonist, है ना? Partial agonist. That is why it has been used in your anxiety, right? Sure. Sure. Prokinetic drug which is used as antiemetic drug, antiemetic metoclopramide, ondansetron, promethazine, or haloperidol. Prokinetic drug. Prokinetic drug which is used as antiemetic. One is your metoclopramide, ondansetron, promethazine, or haloperidol. What's that? What's that, guys? Prokinetic drug which is used as antiemetic. Metoclopramide, ondansetron, promethazine, or haloperidol. You know that metoclopramide is known to be as your prokinetic drug just because it has 5-HT4 agonistic in nature. 5-HT4 agonist in nature. Along with 5-HT4 activity, it has antiemetic action. And the antiemetic action of prokinetic, this metoclopramide one, is just due to the dopamine antagonistic activity. So B2 antagonist activity. Also, it has 5-HT2A2C antagonist activity. 5-HT2A2C antagonist activity. Okay. Ondansetron, 5-HT3 antagonist. 5-HT3 antagonist. But this is not a prokinetic drug. That you have to remember. Now, which clotting factor directly converts fibrinogen into fibrin? Which clotting factor directly converts fibrinogen into fibrin? Thromboplastin, prothrombin, thrombin, or none of the above? What's that, guys? Which clotting factor directly converts fibrinogen into fibrin? Thromboplastin, prothrombin, thrombin, or none of the above? What's that, guys? Yeah, this is nothing but your thrombin only, right? This is nothing but your thrombin only over here. Now, low arterial blood pressure affecting normal blood flow to organ is known as low arterial blood pressure affecting normal blood flow to organ is known as hypertension, hypotension, tachycardia, or ischemia. Low arterial blood pressure affecting normal blood flow to organ. What's that? If obviously blood pressure is low, if obviously blood pressure is low, then what will happen? Obviously, it would be your hypotension only. Hypotension is nothing but decreased BP. And decreased BP, when it will be happen? Whenever there is a low arterial blood pressure. Simple. Which is the strongest facial bone involved in mastication, right? Mastication is just when you grind something through your teeth. है ना? That's your mastication, which is the strongest facial bone over here. Is it your zygomatic bone? This is your zygomatic bone. Maxilla, upper lips. Mandible, this one. Palatine bone, these one are your palatine bone. Okay. So what is that? Obviously, it would be your mandible only. That's your lower jaw. है ना? Lower jaw, mandible is your used for your mastication. Right? Maxilla is your upper lip. And mandible is the only bone which is movable in your face. Right? That is why mandible is going to be your correct answer. Sure. What is the inner lining of the uterus is called as? What is the inner lining of the uterus called as? Cervix, oviduct, myometrium, or endometrium? Yeah, guys, what's that? Anna? That is nothing but your endometrium only, right? Endometrium. Here you can see Anna, endometrium part. Anna, this is your endometrium part over here. This is the inner lining you can see over here. Anna, this is the inner lining. Endometrium is known to be as, right? So, which hormone is essential for the development of cell mediated immunity? Chalo. Simple, na? Very much simple. Is it your estrogen, progesterone, thymosin, or insulin? Estrogen, progesterone, thymosin, or insulin? Yeah. Anyone? Which hormone is essential for development of cell mediated immunity? Estrogen, progesterone, thymosin, or insulin? Obviously, it would be your thymosin only, right? Sure. A shrinkage of the cell is known as atrophy, dyslipidemia, hypertrophy, or hyperplasia. Yeah. Shrinkage of the cell. Shrinkage of cells means size of the cell is going to be decreased down, right? So that is nothing but your atrophy only. Atrophy. Dyslipidemia, that is in the case of your cholesterol levels, though it doesn't have any correlation with this cell size. Hypertrophy is nothing but your increase in cell size. Hana? Hyperplasia is your increase in cell number. Okay. So make sure you remember what is the difference between all these three terms of your cell size. Okay. So serum LDL has found to be increased in what? Serum LDL. LDL, you know, that is your bad cholesterol. Bad cholesterol. Anna? Bad cholesterol, low density lipoprotein. Low density lipoprotein. Right? So that is to be increased in what? Obstructive jaundice, hepatic jaundice, hemolytic jaundice, or malabsorption syndrome. What's that? That is nothing but your obstructive jaundice only, right? When the flow of bile is blocked by gallstones or any tumor leading to abnormalities in your lipid metabolism. Okay. So now these one FSH and LH have pulsatile release that is regulated by which hormone? Estrogen, progesterone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, or androgen? Yeah, that's your one gonadotropin releasing hormone only that is being secreted through secreted through anterior pituitary, right? Anterior pituitary. If I talk about FSH, then it is responsible for spermatogenesis in males, and release from Sertoli cells. Release from Sertoli cells. S, and S. Okay. Leydig cells. L for luteinizing hormone and L for Leydig cells. Leydig cells, right? And responsible for the production of testosterone. Okay, responsible for the production of testosterone, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay, now this one. Which drug cannot be used as emergency contraceptive? Yeah, cannot be used. Cannot be used as emergency contraceptive. IUCD, ulipristal, levonorgestrel, or desogestrel. How guys? That is your desogestrel, which cannot be used in an emergency contraceptive. And these are the ones drug which are used for emergency contraception that you have to see over here, right? Sure. Which of the following drug is used for candidiasis treatment? Candidiasis, you know, that's your skin infection, Hana? Fungal disease. Is it your griseofulvin, nitrofungin, miconazole, or streptomycin? What's that? Yeah, which of the following drug is useful for candidiasis treatment? Griseofulvin, nitrofungin, miconazole, or streptomycin? Obviously, that would be your micona. So, okay. So, which of the following drug is not used in the standard RNTCP regimen for multi-drug resistant tuberculosis? Multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, rifampicin, kanamycin, cycloserine, or levofloxacin. What's that? Multi-drug resistant. Rifampicin over here, right? Rifampicin is not being used in your multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. All right. Now, which of the following anti-arrhythmic drug decreases the action potential during duration in Purkinje fibers? Yeah, Purkinje fibers means into the last one, phase 3 and phase 4. If I talk about phase 3 and phase 4, then which drug is useful for that? And I said quinine, flecainide, amiodarone, or lidocaine. Yeah. So class 1B, if I talk about, है ना? So class 1B over here, so that would be a lidocaine over here, right? Chalo. Now let's talk about pharmaceutical jurisprudence that we have 5 MCQs over here for you guys. है ना? So Indian Veterinary Research Institute is located at okay, Pune, Izzatnagar, Kanpur, or Ghaziabad. Where it is located, guys? Indian Veterinary Research Institute is located at Pune, Izzatnagar, Kanpur, or Ghaziabad. That is your Izzatnagar near Bareilly in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, Indian Veterinary Research Institute. Right? Sure. By the way, all these institutes ka name is very much important, guys. So do make it remember to your end. Okay. Now, which ICS guidelines deals with photostability testing of new drug substance and product? ICHQ1A, ICHQ1B, ICHQ1C, ICHQ1D. What's that, guys? Yeah, ICHQ1B, ICHQ1C, ICHQ1D. What's that? That is nothing but ICHQ1B, photostability testing of new drug substances as well as products. Okay, here you can see Q1B, photosensitivity testing of new drug substances and products. Right. So, which form is used to apply for a retail sale license of Schedule X drug? Schedule X drugs, Form 19, Form 19A, Form 19B, Form 19C. Yeah, retail sale I'm asking. Retail sale. Retail sale license for Schedule X drugs. What's that? Anna? That is nothing but your Form 19C, guys. Right? Chalo, here you can see drug specified in Schedule X, then it would be your 19C over here. Okay? Chalo. National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, NPPA, functions under which ministry? Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Ministry of Ayush, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. What's that? NPPA. Huh? NPPA, guys. That associates with retail price of drug, ceiling price of the drug. है ना? 2013 में DPCO Act was came. है ना? That will be under your Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers only. Okay. Department of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer. Which authority has empowered to declare any place as a warehouse for poppy straw under the NDPS Act 1985? Okay. Warehouse of poppy straw. Poppy straw is nothing but your opium derivative, right? Opium derivative. Is it your central government, state government, narcotics commissioner, or district magistrate? Yeah, NDPS Act is what? Narcotic and Psychotropic Substance Act, right? That is nothing but your state government over here. Now, let's talk about now pharmacognosy. 5 questions over here. And let's talk about this pharmacognosy over here. So digitalis leaves should not contain more than 1% of moisture, more than 5% of moisture, more than 10%, or more than 15% of moisture. Yeah, digitalis. So D, there's a trick to remember. D comes at 4th position and I seems to be like 1. The 4 plus 1, that would be more than 5% of moisture. So B is going to be our correct answer. Right? Sure. One of the following drug is the recently developed anti-malarial product. Anti-malarial product: quinine, quinidine, artemisinin, or Taxol. Yeah, recently developed anti-malarial product. Quinine, that you know, obviously previously also been used plenty of time. Quinidine is your anti-arrhythmic drug. Artemisinin, yes, artemisinin is recently developed by the Chinese. है ना? Chinese, Qinghuosu. What's that? Qinghuosu. In their regional term, they used to call it as Qinghuosu. I know C, artemisinin is going to be your correct answer. Taxol is nothing but your anti-cancer drug. Okay? Anti-cancer drug, Himalayan yew tree. I don't know if you remember. Chalo. Okay. Cancer tree is the common name of Taxus brevifolia, Catharanthus roseus, Camptotheca acuminata, or Colchicum automentalis. Cancer tree is the common name of Taxus brevifolia, Catharanthus roseus, Camptotheca acuminata, or Colchicum automentalis. Yeah. So both, not both, we can say all these three are your cancer tree. But the actual name, which is a common name, is descripted over there. That's your Camptotheca acuminata. Camptotheca acuminata is considered to be as your cancer tree. Whereas Taxus brevifolia will give you taxane, docetaxel, paclitaxel. Cantharis usually that is your vinca alkaloids. They both are also cancer tree. They are also not known to be as cancer tree, but yeah, they will be giving you anti-cancer drugs, right? So, but Camptotheca acuminata has a description of cancer tree as a common name. Okay, so Camptotheca acuminata is going to be your correct answer. Now, Gymnema sylvester. Is it your used as anti-ulcer, anti-diabetic, anti-emetic, or anti-cancer? Gymnema sylvester, obviously, it's going to be used as anti-diabetic in nature, right? Chalo. Gymnema means destroyer of sugar. है ना? Gymnema. Okay. Steroids are biosynthesized by guys. Which one is it? Is it a glycolysis? No. Mevalonic acid, 𝘂𝙃mic acid, or tricarboxylic acid cycle? What's that? Steroids are biosynthesized by glycolysis, mevalonic acid, 𝘂𝙃mic acid, tricarboxylic acid cycle. How is it? Is your mevalonic acid, right? Now, biochemistry 5 MCQs. The most abundant protein in the animals, not animals, mammals. Albumin, hemoglobin, collagen, or elastin. That is obviously your albumin only, right? Albumin is the most abundant protein in mammals, which is bound towards the acidic drug. Which is bound towards acidic drug. It has 4 binding sites. What is that? Warfarin and azapropazone. Warfarin and azapropazone. Azapropazone. Diazepam, digoxin, digitoxin, and fourth is tamoxifen. These are the site of albumin. Okay, albumin. Right? Chal. Very good, Dikshita. I no. Collagen. Okay. 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 In mammals they have asked. Now the collagen, obviously that would be found in skin only. है But collagen is going to be the correct answer. Okay. Because collagen in skin and skin, very much connective tissue. Collagen would be your answer. Even I have got tricked over here. Okay, chalo, fine. Bioflavonoids are earlier known to be as what? Vitamin G, vitamin PP, vitamin P, or vitamin H. Bioflavonoids. Flavonoids are considered to be as vitamin P only, right? Vitamin P only. Sure. Now, which of the following amino acid shows fluorescence? Okay, fluorescence, glycine, tryptophan, cysteine, or serine. What's that, guys? Which of the following amino acid shows fluorescence? Tryptophan, glycine, cysteine, or serine? That is your tryptophan, which is nothing but your aromatic amino acid, right? Aromatic amino acid, tryptophan. Okay, so all of the following carbohydrates are considered to be as polysaccharide, except what's that? Polysaccharide, except heparin, glycogen, maltose, or cellulose. What's that, guys? All of the following carbohydrates are considered to be as polysaccharide except heparin, glycogen, maltose, or cellulose. Yeah, anyone? Considered to be as polysaccharide except heparin, glycogen, maltose, or cellulose. Obviously, that would be your maltose only, right? Maltose, glucose, fructose, है These are your monosaccharide only. Okay, so mono. Okay, sorry, disaccharides. Fine. Disaccharide. The fat soluble vitamins are fat soluble vitamins are B complex, C and D. No. ADEK? Yes. ADEK are considered to be as your fat soluble vitamins over here. If you want to learn it, that's your कीड़ा. है ना? कीड़ा is your insect. So KEDA. कीड़ा. ABCD? No. B complex, E and B? No. Apart from that, apart from that, there is one K3, right? Vitamin K1, vitamin K2, vitamin K3. If I talk about vitamin K3, that is not fat soluble. That is your water soluble in nature. Okay, remember this one. K3 is your water soluble in nature, right? So now pharmaceutics and allied subjects, 25 MCQs over here, guys. Anna. So 20 days, 20 model paper for NIPER. I think and I hope that you are giving all these MCQs and model paper on a regular basis so that you can improve your accuracy and marks as well and some confidence as well, right? So primary amines are incompatible with, okay, primary amines are incompatible with your lactose, mannitol, methyl cellulose, or acacia. Yeah, primary amines are incompatible with lactose, mannitol, methyl cellulose, or acacia. What's that? Anna, if you remember, there is a reaction known to be as that is nothing but your Maillard reaction. Remember? Maillard reaction. Maillard reaction is considered to be as lactose, mannitol, methyl cellulose, or acacia. That is nothing but your lactose only primary amine. Okay? Primary amine, lactose, Maillard reaction. Remember that. Migration of plastic from container to the drug is called as permeation, sorption, leaching, or chemical reactivity. Yeah. Migration of plastic from the container to the drug is called as permeation, sorption, leaching, or chemical reactivity. Yeah, obviously that would be a leaching only, na? Because some part of the container will be going onto the plastic, sorry, container to the drug. So that is what leaching only, right? Acha, over here, since the question number 1, Dikshita is only active, guys. And out of 5 students, 6 students, or 4 students, whatever the number of students over here, only one person is constantly giving the correct answers. And giving the answers, obviously. But none of you are showing up. None of you are giving the answers over here. Why is that so? Do come in front of me and show some confidence. Show up, guys. Ultimately, it will be beneficial for you only, na? So leaching only will be the correct answer. According to the IP, the percentage weight variation for the drug having more than 250 mg. Okay, 250 mg. Is it your 10%, 5 plus minus 10%, plus minus 5%, plus minus 7.5%, or none of these? What's that? Yeah, that is your plus minus 5%. This table is very much important, guys. Plenty of time they have asked. 80 mg or less, plus minus 10%. More than 80 mg or 250 mg, plus minus 7.5 mg. More than 250 mg, then plus minus 5% limit is going to be there only. Okay. Chalo. The leaker test is used to detect the incompletely sealed ampule vacuum sharply released after 30 minutes. What's that? 27 inches mercury, 40 inches mercury, 50 inches mercury, or 10 inches mercury? The leaker test. Leaker test is used to detect the incompletely sealed ampule vacuum sharply released after 30 minutes. What's that? That is nothing but a 27 inches mercury. Okay, 27 inches mercury. Now, Ophthalmic preparations differs from the parenteral preparation because it what? Because it contains what? Sterility. Every parenteral or ophthalmic do have sterility. Pyrogens, free from microbe or all of these. What's that? Yeah. Guys, what's that? Anyone? That is your pyrogens only, which contains lipopolysaccharides and increase the temperature. Increase the temperature. And each time they used to increase 0.6 degree Celsius in rabbit. है चलो. Stainless steel of basket of the IP dissolution apparatus is what? IP dissolution apparatus. Is it your 20 mesh, 36 mesh, 10 mesh, or 85 mesh? Simple, very simple, no? IP have IP. See, IP. It is just like IP. 10 only. Here you can see 10 mesh. USB, if I talk about, then it will be having USB, it will be having 8 mesh screen, right? 8 mesh screen. Water detectors is useful for the detection of which type of gloves? Type 1, type 2, type 3, or NP? Yeah, yeah. Water attack test? Obviously, that would be your type 2. Type 1, borosilicate test. Type 2, that's your soda lime treated. Soda lime treated, right? Type 3, your uh, normal soda lime. And NP for non-parentals, right? Chal. है ना? Okay. Higher the HLP value, more the hydrophilic, less hydrophilic, more lipophilic, or less lipophilic. What's that, guys? For example, SLS. For example, sodium lauryl sulfate has HLP value of 40, right? Has 40. So is it your more hydrophilic in nature, more lipophilic in nature, less hydrophilic, or less lipophilic? What's that, guys? Hana? Higher the HLP, higher the hydrophilic in nature, right? Hana? Okay. Hausner ratio is calculated by Hausner ratio is calculated by HR, Hausner ratio, tap density upon pore density upon tap density, bulk density upon true density, bulk density or void bulk. Yeah, what's their case? Hausner ratio. Hausner ratio is nothing but tap density upon pore density. Tap density is nothing but, for example, you have this, your what? Your measuring cylinder, for example. This is your measuring cylinder. And you have tapped this 40 to 45 times. So density would be automatically lower on the side. Pore density, whatever amount you have just poured it without any tapping. That is what pore density. So tap density upon pore density, that is your Hausner ratio. Okay. So elimination after a 4 half-life in first order kinetic is what is? Elimination after first 4 half-life in first order kinetics. 84 percentage, 93 percentage, 80.5 percentage, 4.75. Half-life eliminated, they are asking. Okay. The first half-life, 50% will be gone. Second half-life, 75% will be gone. Third half-life, uh, 87% will be gone. And fourth half-life, 93.65% will be gone. Hana? So after fourth half-life, so 50, 75, 87, 93. That is your 93.65 percentage will be gone after that, and that is your elimination after 4 half-life. And if they would have asked how much is left, if they would have asked how much would I have left after 4 half-life, then you will be answering 6.35 amount of the percentage is left after 4 half-life. So there are two kinds of question they used to ask over here. Eliminated or left. Okay, so be remember what they have asked. Okay, so phospholipid acting as a surfactant is what? Cephalin, phosphatidyl inositol, lecithin, or phosphatidyl serine. Phospholipid acting as surfactant. That would be a neutral surfactant, right? So that would be your neutral surfactant. Obviously, it would be lecithin as your correct answer. Nana. Wurster process. Okay, Wurster process is also known to be as your air coating, right? Air coating. Nana, is used to coat solid particles of size range 1 to 5,000 micrometers, 5 to 5,000 micrometers, 35 to 5,000 micrometers, 600 to 5,000 micrometer. What's that? Wurster process I'm talking about. Wurster process would be over here 35 to 5,000 micrometer, right? Okay. The thickness of tablets are measured by thickness of tablets of measure by rotating disc technique, sliding capillary caliper scale, microscopic technique, or technique on auto analyzer. हाँ guys, rotating disc technique, sliding caliper scale, microscopic technique, technique on auto analyzer. What's that? Yeah, anyone? The thickness of tablets are measured by sliding caliper scale only, right? Caliper scale only through which we can identify actually the diameter over here. Now, identification of propellants are done by using one of the following instruments. Okay, propellants, cascade impactor, infrared spectroscopy, rotational viscometer, or Carl Fisher method. Yeah, Carl Fisher method say we do analyze moisture content, right? Moisture content. If I talk about infrared spectroscopy, so yes, that is going to be your identification of propellants, right? Sure. Okay. The half-life for a zero order reaction is calculated using what? T half 0.693 upon K, that is for first order kinetics. T half 2.303 K, no. T half is equal to 1 upon, what is 1? That would be C naught, no? C naught upon, 1 upon AK, okay. T half is equals to A C naught upon 2K. Yes, exactly. And D is going to be your correct answer. That is nothing but C naught upon 2K T half. Okay. That is what the first zero order kinetics are half life. Right? Okay. All right. Now, non-ionic surfactant vesicles related to non-ionic surfactant. Non-ionic surfactants, liposomes, nanoparticles, neosomes, or ethosomes. And as the name suggests to me, non-ionic surfactant. Non-ionic surfactant. Neosomes would be your correct answer. Anna? Simple. In cytochrome P450, the number P450 indicates what? P450 is your nanometer. Anna, at the wavelength at which it absorbs maximum of the light. Anna, cytochrome P450. Is it your what? Molecular weight is 450. 450 amino acids absorbs radiation at lambda max. Lambda max is nothing but the wavelength at 450 nanometer. Yes, C is going to be a correct answer. And cytochrome 450 is a large number of, you can say, metabolizing enzymes. That has been present in your liver. Okay, chalo. Suppository bases used are those having melting point in the range of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, 43 to 50 degrees Celsius, 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, 15 to 80 degrees Celsius. What's that? Yeah, cytochrome B50. So done. Hana? Over here, if I talk about suppository base, that is a melting range of about 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. And the most stable one of your theobroma oil, cocoa butter, that is nothing but your beta form of theobroma. Okay. Now, silica gel is useful in the pharmaceutical packaging as sealer, desiccant, sticker, or none of these. Silica gel. You know that silica gel would be present in any of the container. If you talk about not pharmaceutical packaging, but also in different packaging also, silica gel you will be found as to absorb the humidity. to absorb the moisture content, right? So that is why desiccant is going to be your correct answer, right? So, which method provides the precise identification and description of crystalline substances? Okay, crystalline substances. Crystalline substances would be showing polymorphism as well. Would be showing polymorphism as well. So that is your microscopy, X-ray crystallography, DSC, DTA, or NMR. What's that? Microscopy, X-ray crystallography, DSC, DTA, or NMR. Obviously, that would be your X-ray crystallography, which is showing the description of crystalline substances, which would be polymorphic characteristic as well, right? Sure. Controlled release products are what? Modified release products, sustained release products, delayed release products, all of the above. Controlled release means the release is controlled. Slow release, fast release. What's that? That would be obviously your sustained release product. If you talk about Pantop DSR, so pantoprazole, D for domperidone, and S for sustained release. Sustained release. D for domperidone. That is not delayed release. No. Delayed sustained release. No. There is nothing like that. D for domperidone sustained release would be your correct answer. That is your sustained release product. Champ, Vikshita, that is your B only. Not all of you. Drug with which of the following half-life are best described for oral sustained release formulation? Okay. Oral sustained release formulation means, what's that? Yeah. Less than 1 hour, 1 to 2 hour, 4 to 8 hour, or 12 to 16 hour. Yes? Anyone? That would be your 4 to 8 hour. Okay. Now, Ringer solution contain how much percent of the NaCl? Simple, right? 0.86, 0.9, 0.6, or 10. Ringer solution that has been used in your bioassay. Bioassays, right? To keep the tissue alive, right? So 0.9 percentage of NaCl is going to be used in your Ringer solution so that it should become the isotonic in nature. Out of this, 2% boric acid is been used as a isotonicity, and 5% dextrose is used as a isotonic agent, right? So, all right. Now, Km value indicates what? In Michaelis-Menten equation, if I talk about Km value is nothing but Michaelis-Menten equation. In Michaelis-Menten equation, Km value is there as well as Vmax is there. What is Km value? Km value is inversely proportional to the affinity of the substrate binding with the enzyme. Also, if I talk about Km is the amount of substrate required to bind with enzyme. So, is it your purity of enzyme? Physiological role, concentration of substrate when the reaction reaches, or half-life. So that's your C, obviously concentration of substrate. Okay. So dilated material are often termed as what is dilated material. Dilated material, that is we are talking about in the case of rheology, right? That is what we are talking about in the case of rheology, flow of fluids. Another dilated material. Dilated material, shear thickening, shear thinning, shearing, or both A and B. Both A and B, so obviously no. Shearing would be no. So dilated is what? Dilated, shear thinning, shear thickening. What's that? What's that? That's your shear thickening. Dil bhari bhari ho gaya. Thickening. Dilated. Okay. Chalo. Lyophilization is the other name of what? Freeze drying, vacuum drying, thermal drying, or all of the above. What's that? Lyophilization is the other name of freeze drying, vacuum drying, thermal drying, or all of the above. Lyophilization, that has been useful for the cryopreservation, right? That has been useful for cryopreservation of drugs, and that is nothing but cryo means freeze, preservation, for the storage, and that is what freeze dry over here. Okay. Now amber colored containers are used to pack. Containers are used to pack what? Huh? Salt to gel. Exactly, Dikshita. Very nice. Hana? Colored liquids, heat sensitive formulation, light sensitive drugs, or costly drugs. Amber colored containers. Amber colored containers, for example, that is your amber colored, it's somewhat brownish in color, right? It's somewhat brownish in color. That is what? For light sensitive drugs over here, right? Shut up. So this is all about from pharmaceutics. Now let's talk about biotechnology. That's guys, 20 days, 20 model paper. I hope you are doing it. Hana? And once you join it, you will definitely get all the model paper for the NIPER practice. Hana? And it will definitely help you a lot for that, right? 120 questions from the pharma section, 25 questions from GK, 15 from English, 25 from reasoning, and 15 from aptitude, right? In genetic engineering, we study about what? We study about genetic nature of the genes, manipulation of genes, effect of temperature on genes, or all of the above. Genetic engineering at what? Sometimes it is considered to be as correlately, we can say it as RD and a technology, right? But genetics is not associated with DNA only. It associated with those chromosomes also, those RNA also. Hana? So that is what manipulation of genes that we done. Hana? We do some experiments onto these genes. That is why genetic engineering has been done. Okay. So monoclonal antibody are produced by. Okay. Monoclonal antibodies are produced by which technique? Testectoma technique, granuloma technique, hybridoma technique, or vasectoma technique. Obviously, that would be your hybridoma technique, right? Where mice is being used to be taken and the myeloma cells is inserted along with that antibody, so that multiple kind of antibody, monoclonal antibody is being produced over there, right? So hybridoma technology. Okay. For DNA synthesis, which of the following is required? Primer, obviously. Promoter, promoter or lipase or all of these. For DNA synthesis, that's DNA amplification. If I talk about, so three steps takes place. DAE, denaturation, right? Denaturation, annealing, and E for extension. These three things takes place. And during the time of extension only, these primers are being used. These primers are being used for the DNA synthesis. That is nothing but PCR. That is nothing but PCR only. Okay. Spleen, exactly, Dikshita. Very good. Anna? Okay, guys. This is your 20 days 20 model paper. And again, we have talked about this. And now let's talk about the microbiology type questions. Aflatoxin is produced by fungi, bacteria, algae, or virus. Aflatoxin. Aflatoxin are your immunomodulators, right? So these are your fungi derivatives, bacterial, algae, or virus. That is nothing but your fungi only, right? Now, measles vaccine is given after how many months after birth? Measles vaccine is given after how many months after birth? 3, 6, 9, or 12. What's that? That is nothing but your 9. Okay. Measles vaccine is given after how months? That is your 9 months. Okay. Okay. Now this one. The process of weakening a pathogen is called as vaccination, attenuation, immunization, or virulence. Okay. So for example, if I talk about in the case of vaccines, now guys, if I talk about in the case of vaccines, now, then what is that? Vaccine are of two types: killed vaccine or attenuated vaccine. Killed vaccine or attenuated vaccine. So killed vaccine is what? The pathogen, whatever it is it a fungi, is it a bacterial, or is it a viral, that is killed over here, and that is what injected through vaccine, so that our body can make up the antibodies against that. For example, if I talk about attenuated means the virus is there, virus is alive, but the harmful activity, the you can say virulence activity of that virus is going to be diminished. That's why attenuated is known to be termed as for that thing. Okay, attenuation. So, athlete's foot is caused by what? Candida albicans, Cryptococcus myoformans, Microsporum trichophyton, or Taenia rubrum. What's that? Athlete food. Athlete food is nothing but your Taenia rubrum. Okay. Okay. Taenia rubrum. Now let's talk about this one, guys. Nitrite is converted into nitrate by which bacteria? Okay. Nitrite is converted into nitrate. NO2 is converted into NO3 by which bacteria? NO2, nitrite is nothing but your NO2, right? And converted into NO3. By converting which bacteria? Nitrosomonas, nitrosocides, nitrobacter, or azotobacter. Yeah, it is your nitrobacter over here. Alright, guys? Sure. Alright. I think this is all by my side from pharmacology, pharmaceutics, cognosy, juris, uh, microbiology, biotechnology. Okay. So now 𝙂𝙀𝙎 will be taking on for the pharmaceutical chemistry from now on. And thank you so much for being here with me and all the very best for your.
All right, so good morning everyone. Good morning once again. So here we are again with the model paper of NIPER JEE. So this is our 7th model paper. So come on, let's have some strength. As I can see, there is very few number of students have joined this session. Okay, so we are here with the question number 81. Okay, and from the 81 we are having the pharmaceutical chemistry portion. So the pharma, that is pharmaceutical chemistry now only. Okay, so except this, we are the all pharma you have already covered with Devanshu sir. Now let's have the pharmaceutical chemistry portion. Okay, good morning. So let's have the first question. So in the first question we are having what? In the given conformation, C2 is rotated about C2C3 bond anti-clockwise by an angle 120 degree. Then the conformation obtained is, we are having a structure here, and in this structure the C2, that is this one, so this bond is actually rotated by 120 degree. It means this goes here 60, then again to this, that is 120. So methyl will be coming to this position of hydrogen, this hydrogen will be going here, and this will be going to this position. So we are having carbon number 3rd, no disturbance with this one, and the carbon 2 is having change of the groups due to rotation. So CH3 moves to this position because of the anti-clockwise direction. Rest all are having this one. So this is known as what? Is it eclipsed form? No eclipsed form, no eclipsed form. Gauge or staggered conformation? Yes, that is a staggered formation. But this kind of staggered conformation, when we are having methyl substitutions at 60 degree dihedral angle, this kind of staggered form is known as the gauge form. This will be better known as the gauge conformation. So C option. Option C will be your correct answer. Option C is the correct one. Alright, option C is the correct one for this question. So this will be your right answer. This will be the right answer. Correct answer for this one. Okay, C option. 𝙂𝙂methicone is chemically, 𝙂𝙂methicone is wax, fat, aldehyde, or the silicon. So yes, it's a silicon. It's a silicon composition that we are having as the 𝙂𝙂methicone. That we are having here as the 𝙂𝙂methicone. So the correct answer for this, that is 𝙂𝙂methicone. In generally, we are having this composition in so many number of laxative agents. It is having anti-flatulent properties. So 𝙂𝙂methicone will be used in these cases. So yes, D option is the correct answer. Which is highly electron donating group? Which one is highly electron donating group? Here we are having NH2 group, amine group. Then we are having the C triple bond and C double bond O OH group and the C double bond O H group. So this one is aldehyde, carboxylic, and the nitrile. All these groups are termed as the minus R group because they are having minus R effect. They will always pulse the electron density from the conjugated system towards themselves. They are minus R, or sometimes also called as the minus M groups. But this NH2, because of having lone pair of electrons, the nitrogen atom will be donating its lone pair of electron and hence increasing the electron density in a conjugated system. So NH2 is actually here a electron donating group, while all other are here electron withdrawing groups. So NH2 is electron donating. NH2 will be electron donating group. Isomers of a substance must have the same. So isomers of a substance must have the same structural formula. No, structure can be have difference. So structure, maybe it is having differences in the structural isomers cases. Physical property, yeah, physical property and the chemical properties both differs of the compounds. Molecular formula. So what is the same? The isomers are the compounds that are having same molecular formula but differing in chemical nature, physical nature, or the structural formula. These are called as what? Isomers. So this can be different, but this has to be same. This has to be same. That is what? Molecular formula. So the molecular formula will always remain the same for the isomers. The compound C2H5O, C2H5 and CH3O, C3H7 exhibit. So with respect to the oxygen, we are having 2 carbon chain on this side and this side. And here with respect to oxygen, we are having 3 carbon and 1 carbon chain. So both of them are having same molecular formula, but with respect to a polyvalent oxygen atom, the carbon chain is actually differing in both the sides. That's why they are having structural isomerism seen. And such kind of a structural isomerism is also called as what? This is known as the metamerism. This is known as metamerism. So the correct answer will be the C1. Option C is the correct one. Which of the following compound will not exhibit optical isomerism? Which of the following compound will not be having optical isomerism? So go for the asymmetric carbon. Find out the chiral carbon. Here we are having what? Methyl. Then we are having carbon, that is having hydrogen on one side, OH on the other side, and Br on the other side. So here we are having a single chiral carbon. Yes, so this chiral carbon can have optical activity. Methyl, okay, then carbon, one side we are having hydrogen, on the other side we are having OH, okay, different groups. And okay, here in this we are having 2 methyl groups. So this is not having chiral carbons, same groups are present. Okay, methyl, CH2, okay. Then we are having carbon, and the carbon is having bromine group, hydrogen group, and the ethyl group. Carbon is having hydrogen, and okay, so here we are having what? It's a secondary carbon. This, sorry, it's a tertiary carbon. So this will be having what? This will be having 1 chiral carbon, that is this one. This one is a chiral carbon. So this is also optical activity. This also shows optical activity. CH3, CHOH, CHBr. This is chiral carbon. This one is the chiral carbon. Here we are having 2 chiral carbons. This will be also optically active. So only the B option is having no asymmetric carbons. And because of no asymmetric carbon, no chiral carbon, this person will be having no optical activity. And yes, we are asked not exhibit optical isomerism. So this B option will not exhibiting optical isomerism because this structure is having no asymmetric carbon, no chiral carbons. 𝘿𝙂𝙎𝙎𝙬 reaction involves only alpha halogenation of aliphatic carboxylic acid in the presence of a small amount of. So we are having what? Suppose we are having this carboxylic acid and we are having halogenation. Suppose we are having Br2 in the presence of what? Red phosphorus. So in presence of red phosphorus, we will be having alpha halogenations of carboxylic acid. Okay, of carboxylic acid, and we will be getting CHBr2, COOH, and further CBr3, COOH. So we'll be using phosphorus here in the 𝘿𝙂𝙎𝙎𝙬 reaction. What we are using here? We will be using the red phosphorus for such kind of conversion. 2 sugar which differ from one another only in configuration around a single carbon atom are termed as 2 sugar. Suppose we are having this one, I'm having one OH, H, OH, OH, and H, H, OH, and H. This is your what? Glucose. This one is the glucose. Okay, this one is the glucose molecule. Now this is our what? This one is the H, H, OH, OH, H, H, OH, and OH. This one is what? This is the structure of mannose. Okay, this is the mannose, and now this is the structure of what? This is the structure of OH, H, H, OH, 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 and H. So this is the structure of galactose. Galactose. So compare first glucose with the galactose. Now the glucose and galactose are having exact same structures, but just around this chiral carbon, that is the fourth carbon. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth carbon. So at the fourth carbon, we are having a slight change in configuration of the chiral carbon. Otherwise, this glucose is exactly identical with the structure of galactose. So this kind of difference is known as epimers, and this glucose and galactose are C4 epimers. C4 epimers. While we are having glucose and mannose. So glucose and mannose are having exactly same structure, but the only difference that we are getting is around C2, that is second C2, second chiral carbon. So this glucose and mannose will be having what? So this glucose and mannose will be having C2 epimerism. C2 epimers. So the correct answer here will be epimers. Epimers. C2 epimers for the case of glucose and mannose, and C4 for the glucose and galactose. Phenolic esters can be rearranged in ortho-para hydroxy-aromatic ketone by heating with Friedel-Crafts catalyst, that is anhydrous AlCl3, in a synthetically useful reaction known as. So here we are having the phenolic ester, O, C, double bond O, CH3. Let's suppose we are having this one. And in the presence of AlCl3, we are having a ortho and a para derivative, C double bond O, CH3, and OH, C double bond O, CH3. So this one is ortho and that is a para. So ortho para keto hydroxy compound, ortho para keto hydroxy compound. This rearrangement is known as what? Hofmann rearrangement? No, this is having isocyanate intermediate formation. This one is having what? Isocyanate intermediate. The important point for this is having isocyanate intermediate. 𝘂𝙬 carboxylic acid, rimer-Tman salicylaldehyde will be formed. So the correct answer, this rearrangement is known as the Fries rearrangement reaction. Fries rearrangement reaction. Okay. The conversion of a ketoenzyme on treatment with an acid catalyst to form an substituted amide is known as. So this is the question from ZPAT 2026, and this rearrangement is known as what? Beckmann rearrangement reaction. This is known as what? This will be known as Beckmann rearrangement reaction. So A option is correct. Dash stereoisomers are possible in 2,3-dibromobutane. We are having 2,3-dibromobutane. This one, that is the mesoform because of presence of symmetry, and this will be having one bromine on this side and the other bromine on this side, while HH one this, and it's a mirror image, so Br here, H here, H here, Br here. So these two are enantiomers. This one is the mesoform. So 2 plus 1, that is 3. Total number of optical isomers, so total number of stereoisomers will be 3. Total stereoisomers that we can have will be 3. Same that we have seen for the case of tartaric acid as well. In the tartaric acid also we are having what? Symmetry and 2 chiral carbons. A reaction containing a phenol is treated with chloroform and aqueous sodium hydroxide by which salicylaldehyde is formed is called as. So we are having phenol and reaction of this phenol with chloroform, that is CHCl3, in aqueous NaOH solution, we will be getting what? So this reaction is very famous reaction that is having salicylic formation, that is known as what? Reimer-Tiemann reaction. In the Perkin condensation, we are having alpha beta unsaturated acid formation. In the Wolff-Kishner reduction, we are having what? Hydrocarbons from carbonyl compound. So hydrocarbons are formed, active methylene group. The Wittig reaction, alkene is formed by reaction of carbonyl compound with triphenyl phosphine, that is commonly known as 𝙂𝙬, and betaine intermediate is seen in this case. Okay, so this is incorrect. Yes, this reaction belongs to Reimer-Tiemann reaction. This reaction belongs to the Reimer-Tiemann reaction, and there is another important reaction for the anilines. Just in the case, if we use aniline in place of phenol, the reagents are same, that is CHCl3 with NaOH. Then we will be having carbylamine formation, that is isocyanide formation. Okay, isocyanide formation will be seen. So for this, for the salicylaldehyde, that is the Reimer-Tiemann reaction, and this reaction is known as what? This is known as carbylamine. This reaction is known as carbylamine reaction. Okay, carbylamine reaction. Which of the following statement is true about the following two anionic molecules? We are having one, that is phenoxide and thiophenoxide. Okay, so one is more basic and more nucleophilic than second. Negative charge on oxygen and negative charge on sulfur. So sulfur, because of low electronegativity, will be donating its lone pair inside the conjugation to have more and more resonance stability. But in the case of oxygen, because of higher electronegativity of oxygen, oxygen will not be donating its electron pair, its negative charge inside the ring. In fact, this O- will be having greater tendency to accept this H plus ion. So if a person is having tendency greater to accept H plus ion, it means that particular compound, that particular species will be more basic in character, more basic in nature. So one is more basic and more nucleophilic than A. No, so A will be more basic. This is more basic one, while this will be more nucleophilic. This will be more nucleophilic. Okay, nucleophilic. One is less basic. No, that is incorrect. One is more basic. Yes, that is correct. One is less basic. That is incorrect. Yes, one is more basic but less nucleophilic than second. Yes, that is correct. Option C is correct. Option C is the right answer for this case. Okay, option C is the right answer. What will be the attacking electrophile in the reaction? Here we are having what? Benzene reaction with Cl2 in FeCl3, we are having chlorobenzene. So this Cl2 reacts with FeCl3 to have Cl plus and Cl minus formation. So one will be having plus, other will be having minus. This Cl minus will be accepted by this FeCl3 to give you FeCl4 minus. And we are having one Cl positive left. This will be attacking on the benzene ring because of higher electron density inside the benzene ring. So this is having our attacking reagent, that is electrophilic in nature. Carbon ion, no. Halonium, yes, that is chloronium ion. It means halogen with the positive charge. That is why this reaction is also known as what? Electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction. So the halonium ion will be your attacking reagent. Conductivity cells are made up of, so the conductivity cells are made up of what? Two silver rods, two parallel sheets of platinum, that is correct. Glass membrane with AgAgCl, no. Sb2O3, no, that is incorrect. So two parallel sheets of platinum, two parallel sheets of platinum are used for the conductivity cells. Okay, and now we are having the analysis portion. So let's have the first question. Acidic dyes are used in Fajan's method. Acidic dye is used in Fajan's method. So which acidic dye we are using for the Fajan's method? Phenol, no. Rhodamine series, no. Fluorescein, okay. Fluorescein we use. Thymol blue, no. So the dye, the acidic dye that is used in the Fajans method, that is the fluorescein. That is the fluorescein. The color change is due to ionization of acid-base indicators. Color change is due to ionization of acid-base indicator, that is in the Ostwald theory, chromophore theory, quinoid theory, or the resonance theory. So the right answer for this will be your Ostwald theory. Ostwald theory, that will be the right answer. Errors arise due to the individual analyst responsible for them. Method error, no, that is in the error in methodology. Instrumental error, no, that is not any kind of information in your question. Personal error or random error. So since the error is because of the individual analyst, it means that kind of error will be personal error. This kind of errors will be known as the personal error. Dash is used as a primary standard for standardization of NaOH, that is caustic soda. So for the primary standardization of sodium hydroxide, what we will be using? Sodium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate, oxalic acid, yes, that is what? Ethane dioic acid, that is also known as what? Ethane dioic acid. Ethane dioic acid, that is called as H2C2O4. So this will be used. C option is the right one. Option C is the correct one. The standard potential of hydrogen electrode is, so the standard potential of hydrogen will be 0. 0, simple. In gas chromatography, which detector is used, which detector is most sensitive to halogenated compounds like pesticides? So which detector is more sensitive to halogenated compounds? Halogenated compounds, is it TCD, FID, ECD, or the FP? So this is electron capture detector. This is more sensitive for the halogenated compounds. Halogens are determined by Karl-Fischer method. So the Karl-Fischer method is used to measure the moisture content, that is H2O content. Okay, H2O. Oxygen flask combustion, yes, this oxygen flask combustion is used for the determination of halogens, for the halogens and for the sulfur as well. Sulfur as well. Zeldal method is for the nitrogen. Okay, so this is for the nitrogen. This is for the water content. No, that is incorrect. Correct answer will be oxygen flask combustion method. Oxygen flask combustion method will be the right answer. Nuclear magnetic moment is not shown by. Nuclear magnetic moment. So we are talking about nuclear magnetic moment. It means we have to look for the neutrons and what? Neutrons and protons. So if the neutron and proton, if the N plus P is N plus P, or you can say N minus N plus P is a what? Is a even number. Is a even number. It means there will be no magnetic moment. But if we are having N plus P is odd, then that will be having magnetic moment. So here we are having what? Here we are having what? The first one, C13, odd number, C16, okay, so this one is having 16, it means this will be having no magnetic moment. This will be having odd, only 16O will be having the right answer with no magnetic moment. ESR, okay, ESR is applied to only those substances showing paramagnetism which is due to magnetic moment of what? So ESR, or sometimes also known as EPR, electron paramagnetism resonance. So EPR or the ESR, now this will be used only and only for the unpaired electrons. Okay, unpaired electrons. For the case of neutrons and protons, we use just NMR. Okay, for them we use NMR, but for the ESR, it means we have to go for the unpaired electrons. Due to unpaired electrons, due to odd electrons, we will be having this paramagnetism, paramagnetic properties. Okay, paramagnetic properties. Number of peak obtained in NMR spectra of benzene. So we are having benzene, identical structure with all the carbon hydrogen bonds looking like same, identical carbon hydrogen bonds. So just because of same carbon hydrogen, now in this case the number of peaks obtained will be just a single, that is one, only one. The range of fingerprint region in IR radiation. For the IR region, the fingerprint region is what? 900 to 1400 in the C, that is given. 900 centimeter inverse to 1400 centimeter inverse. The reference standard used to take ESR spectra. So we are having here ESR spectra. ESR spectra, ESR, electron spin resonance, ESR spectra. Tetramethylsilane, no, that is for the NMR. DPPH, yes, 2,2-diphenylpicryl-hydrazole. This is what? DPPH. And for the ESR, we will be using DPPH as the standard. Full form of this is what? 2,2-diphenylpicryl-hydrazole. Okay. Now, number of double bonds is determined by number of double bonds or the conjugated system or the unsaturation. That is determined by what? IR spectroscopy. This is for what? So the IR spectroscopy, IR is for what? Carbon oxygen, hydrogen bond stretching. Okay, so no, this will be not used here. NMR is for the nucleus. Okay, nucleus, proton and neutrons, so that is also not used here. ESR is for the electron. Number of double bonds, so the double bonds is used by UV spectroscopy. So we will be determining the number of double bonds by UV. Standard used for NMR. So the NMR is having a standard. Why? That is trimethylsilane. No, tetramethylsilane. Tetramethylsilane is the standard used here. Okay. Detector used in nephelometry. So in the nephelometry, we use what? PMT, the simple one. Photo multiplier tube. GC detector, no. IR detector, no. Mass detector, no. Photo multiplier tube, yes, we are having PMT here. In the D option, we are having the PMT, that is photo multiplier tube. That is what we are using in the nephelometry. Rotation of electrons about the proton generate a secondary magnetic field which may oppose the applied magnetic field. It has to be magnetic field. The proton is then said to be. So because of the rotation of electron, there is some magnetic field generated around the proton, and the applied magnetic field, this newly formed magnetic field opposes the applied magnetic field effect, and thus the proton is actually having shielding effect. So proton is said to be shielded. Okay, shielded. But if the electronegativity of atoms that is having bond formations is higher, it means electrons will be starting to shift towards the more electronegative atom. Now in this case, the formation of that particular magnetic field will be slow, means oppose will be low, and that means now this case will be having hydrogen is called as the de-shielded. But since we are asked about finishing, okay, so we are having the shielded. Now in this case we are having proton as the shielded one. Glass transition temperature is determined through, so the glass transition temperature DTA, DSC, TMA or the DRS, so that will be having the differential calorimetry. All right, so B option is the correct one. Option B is the correct one. Zeeman effect is applied in, so the Zeeman effect, simple question, atomic absorption spectroscopy, that is known as AAS. Zeeman effect will be seen in this only. Soap chromatography is a new HPLC technique, a new GC technique, no. A new LCMS technique, no. A new HPTLC technique, that is incorrect. So this soap chromatography is a kind of new HPLC technique. A option will be the right one. The motion performed by protons in NMR is, so the motion that is performed by the NMR, that is performed by the protons in NMR, that is of spinning, rotational, gyration, or the precessional. So we are having wobbling kind of motion, that is precessional. That is also known as the precessional. That is also known as the precessional. Solvent programming, also called gradient illusion, involves. So the solvent programming, that is also called as, that is also known as gradient illusion, involves what? Changing the column length? No. Changing the mobile phase composition. Okay, so just by changing the composition of the mobile phase, that is known as what? That is known as what? Gradient illusion. Gradient illusion. Gradient illusion. Okay. Now, MALDI is related to, that is what? Matrix assisted laser desorption ionization. All right. So what will be the correct answer? This is related to what? This is related to mass spectroscopy, IR, NMR, all of these, no. So mass spectroscopy, this is related to the mass spectroscopy, specifically when we are having larger biomolecules, proteins. On that cases, we will be using this method. Okay, MALDI. Substance used for modification of silica gel for reverse phase TLC. Substance that is used for the modification of silica gel for reverse phase TLC is benzene, glycerine, silicon oil, ether, that will be the silicon oil. Silicon oil, silicon oil. Chelating agent is a simple one, EDTA, hexadentate. This one is what? Hexadentate ligand. Hexadentate ligand. All right. So this will be your chelating agent, EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid or tetraacetate. Difference between residual and limiting current. So difference of residual current IR and the limiting current, this is known as what? Diffusion current, ID. This is known as what? Diffusion current, that is ID. So C option will be the right one. ID, diffusion current. All right. So this is all about pharmaceutical chemistry from my side. This is all regarding the pharmaceutical chemistry. Now, Aditi ma'am will be having all the non-pharma sections of GK, GS, reasoning and aptitude. Now, she will be taking all those questions from that topic. All right. So, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. Now we start our pharma section. First we complete reasoning, then general knowledge, then aptitude, then English. Okay, so let's start from the reasonings. Question number 1 from the reasoning is, what is the angle between the hour hand and minute hand at 2:45 a.m.? So we have to find like what is the angle between hour hand and minute hand at 2:45 a.m. Okay, so what is the answer? Like we have 4 options: 227.5 degree, 127.5 degree, 172.5 degree, and 272.5 degree. So for this question we can directly use the formula to find out our angle between minute hand and hour hand. Okay, so like how to find the angle? So angle is equals to what? That is 30 hour minus like 11 by 2 minute, that is 11 by 2 minute. So hour we put it there and minute we put it there. Okay, so 30 in bracket 2 minus 11 multiply 45 divided by 2. So by solving this we will get what is the angle between the minute hand and hour hand. Okay, from using this formula, we can find the angle between minute hand and hour hand. Okay, so if in this type of question you get in your exam, so directly you can use this formula to find out your angle. Okay, so by solving this, you will get 60 minus 247.5. So by subtracting by subtracting 60 from 247.5, we will get our answer. That is 187.5. That is 187.5, and we have to find overall angle, that is 360 minus 187.5, and we will get our answer. Okay, we will get our answer, that is 172.5 degree. So the angle formed between hour hand and minute hand at 2:45 am is 172.5. That is option number C. Okay, now move to the next question, that is question number 122. What was the day of the week on 9th November 1998? So we have to find the week on 9th November 1998. So we have four options like Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. Okay, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. So let's see how to solve this. So like for this, we have some codes for month, century and day mapping. Okay, so for month, January, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So we have code like January, 1 for January, 4 for February, 4 for March, 0 for April. So for every month we have some code. Okay, and similarly for century, like 1600, 1700, 18th, 19th, 20th century, we have also some codes, and we have also some day mappings. Okay, 0 for Sunday, 1 for Monday, okay, 2 for Tuesday, 3 for Wednesday. Similarly for 6 we got Saturday. So first we have the formula, that using the formula date plus month code plus last two digit plus quotient plus century code, if we sum up all these codes and dates and centuries, we will get our answers. That is, date is like for what date, like 9 November 1998. So date is 9. November code is what, that is 4. Like if you can see here, November code is 4. Okay, and last two digit like 98. So we have to divide 98 by 4, we get 24. Similarly for century code, 1900 to 1999, we have 0. So we add all these numbers, we get 135. Okay, we get 135. So 135 divided by 7, we got 2 reminders. So 2 is what, that is 2 like 4, reminder is 2. So from your table, 2 is what, that is Monday. Okay, so now let's move to the next, that is looking at a photo of a person. A girl said, his daughter, parental uncle's wife is my mother. What is the relation of that girl to mother of the person in the photo? Okay, so we have to find the relation in this question. We have 4 options like brother's daughter, daughter's daughter, father's mother, son's daughter. So we have a complete tree for this. Like here is person, like photo from a person he is talking about. So here is person's mother's, person daughter, here is person's daughter, parental uncle, uncle and wife. So we get that son's daughter is the correct answer. Son's daughter is the correct answer. Now move to the next question, that is what two signs needed to be interchanged. So there is an expression given, so we have to change the signs. Okay, we have to interchange the signs, so we get 12 answer. So we get 12 answer. So we have option plus and minus. Like for example, if we replace my divided by plus and plus by divided. Okay, similarly we have 3 more options, that divide by minus, minus by divide, plus by minus, minus by plus, divide by multiply, multiply by. So we have to change any interchange any signs, so we get 12. So if we see our option number 1, that is if we interchange plus by division, that is 24 divided by 3 multiply 4 minus 30 plus 10. Okay, so 3 8 is 25, 4 8 multiply 4 minus 30 plus 10. So 8 4 is 32 minus 30 plus 10. Okay, here is 2 plus 10 is equals to 12. So we got our answer, that is option number A. So we have to interchange plus by division. Okay, and division by plus we can say that. Okay, now move to the next question, that is question number 125. So here is some ratios and proportion is given, that is 15 ratio 90, that is 15 by 90, 203 ratio by 10 15, proportion 16 ratio x. So we have to find the value of x in this ratio and proportion. Okay, so how you get, that is if you see like 15 ratio what, that is 90. Okay, so if you see that 1 plus 5 is equals to what, that is 6, that is 6. So if you multiply 19 by 6, you got 90. Okay, that is 90. Similarly for 203 you have given, so 2 plus 0 plus 3 is what, that is 5. So 203 multiply 5 is what, that is 1015. Similarly 1 plus 6 is equals to 7, so 16 multiply 7 you get your answer. Okay, 16 multiply 7 you got your answer, that is 112. So option number D is correct. So option number D is correct. Okay, now move to the next question, that is question number 126. So there is some YLP ratio KOB, that is we can see that YLP upon KOB is equals to BUS upon HF, Y is equals to RAN. So we have to find the value of question mark. What will we get? Okay, what we will we get? So if we see there is opposite, like opposite of this, opposite of H is S, UF B for Y. Similarly N for opposite of N is what, that is M. Opposite of N is M. A opposite is what, that is Z. So there is Z, so opposite of R is what, 9. So in this pattern opposite work. Okay, now move to the next question, that is question number 127. In question number 127 we have pick the odd one. Okay, we have to pick the odd one, that if you see 2 to 5 is the square of what, 2 to 5 is the square of what, so 2 to 5 is the square of what, that is 15, that is 15. 2 to 5 is the square of what, that is 15. 4 4 1 is the square of what, that is 21, that is 21, that is 35 square. And 961 is the square of what, that is 31. And 343 is not a square, it's a cube of what, that is 7 cube. So all four are in perfect, all four are is perfect square, but this one 343 is what, that is cube. So 343 is the odd one from the given four numbers. Now move to the next, that is question number 128. If we see question number 28, select the option that is different from the rest. We have to find the odd one, like, okay. So scalpel surgery correct, needle embroidery bilkul correct, chisel carpentry missile trajectory. Okay, if we see scalpel, needle, kessel, all is just, for example, surgery. In surgery we use scalpel, embroidery we use needle, carpentry we use chisel, but in missile trajectory, so trajectory is a path, so if we see option number D is different from the other one. Okay, so if we see missile is not a tool, all these are tools, scalpel, needle, chisel, all are tools, but we see trajectory is not a tool, it's a path. Okay, so odd one is what, just that is missile trajectory. Okay, now move to the next one, that is question number, question number 129. Among the following words, which one will come second if they are arranged as per their order in an English dictionary? So if we arrange all these words in according to English dictionary, so we have to find the odd one. So exit, excuse, exempt, exercise. So which one is odd one from the given? Which one is odd one? You have to give the answer. Okay, which one is odd one from the given words? You have to find, like exit, excuse, exempt, or exercise. Anyone? That is exempt. That is exempt. So option number C is correct. That is option number C. Okay, option number C is correct. In a certain code language, pen is written as 8. How will pencil be written in that? Like pen is written as 8, like we have to find how pencil is written in a code. Okay, so if you see pen, like PEN, P is in which place? That is 16 plus 5 plus 14. What is that? Is 35. That is 35. So when we do 3 plus 5 is what? That is 8. Similarly, we can do for pencil and we will get the answer, that is 14. So option number D is correct. That is option number D is correct. Now for another question, that is question number 131. We have to pick the odd one. If you see goat, cat, buffalo, cow. So goat, buffalo, cow are domestic animals, and if we see cat, cat is different. Goat, buffalo and cow are mainly domestic farms animal that gives milk. Cat is generally kept as pet, and it is not a milk producing farm animal. So select the options. Okay, we have to choose the right one for the given words. Plants, garden, animals, where? Animal is in where? That is in zoo. If cat, plants in garden, so animals in option number C, that is zoo. So option number C is correct. Garden is place where plants are grown. Similarly, zoo is place when animals are kept. If R is the mother of F, F is the father of K, L is brother of F and son of G, then how is related to G? So how is related? That is wife. That is R, G. F is what? That is daughter of F is F. L is brother of F and son of G. So we got what? That is wife. That is wife. Now Abhishek is the brother of Ashu, who is the son of Jay. Swati is the daughter of Jyoti. Malti is the mother of Asu and Jyoti. How is Abhishek related to? So we have to find the relation between Abhishek and Swati. We have 4 options, that is brother son, mother's brother, brother father. So the correct option is what? That is mother's brother. So Malti and Jay, Asu, Abhishek, Jyoti, so Swati. So how are they connected? Mother's brother. Like 15:8, proportion 25 ratio what? What? If you see, when you multiply 15, how to go? That is 15 is equals to 3 multiply 5. 3 multiply 5, that is 15, and 3 plus 5 is what? That is 3 plus 5 what? That is 8. That is 8. So 5 multiply 5 is equals to what? That is 25, and 5 plus 5 is what? That is 10. So option number B is correct. So option number B is correct. Now move to the next question, that is question number 136. Cold is related to refrigerator. in the same way as hot is related to what? That is oven, grinder, air conditioner, fire. So option number D, that is fire. What is? That is fire. So option number D is oven. Okay, oven. Like hot is related to how? That is oven. Cold is related to refrigerator. Hot is related to oven. Now 4 words have been given, out of which 3 are alike. Student, deans, principal, director. So if you see, dean, principal, directors are similar, but students are different. Okay, students are different. So students are learners and do not hold administrative authority. If we see principal, dean, director are persons holding as administrative or leadership post in an institution. Okay, now select the number that will come in next following series: 12, 15, 21, 30, 47, 57. So we have to find what number will get after what, that is after 57. Okay, so if you see 12, 15, 21, okay, 15, 21, like 12. If you see, like 12 plus 3 is what? 15. 15 plus 6, like 3 ones are 3, 2s are 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So we'll get what? That is 75. So after 57 we will get what? That is 75. Like author related to pen, surgeon related what? That is scalpel. Author, pen is used by author to write something that he wants. So author, pen, surgeon, how he conduct their surgery? With the help of scalpel. So option number B is correct. Now if we see, consider 4th March to be a Wednesday in 2028. So what day of the week will be on 7th March in 2019? So if you see, total like 4 March to 7 March 2019 is like 365 days plus 3, that is 368. So 3, when we divide 368 by what? That is by 7, we will get 4 remainder, and 4 is what? Like Wednesday plus 4 days, that is Sunday. So 15 August is like for freedom, and 26th January for secularism, constitution, parliament, democracy. As well we know, 26th January is for constitution. Okay, so option number B is correct. Now if today is Tuesday, what will be 64th day from today? So similarly, with the like 64 we divide by 7, we will get what? That is 1 remainder. So Tuesday plus 1 day, that we got Wednesday. Kathmandu, Thimphu, Dhaka, Karachi. So what is odd one? If we see, Kathmandu is the capital of what? That is Nepal. Thimphu is for Bhutan, Dhaka is for Bangladesh, and Karachi is like different. Karachi is not a capital, so Karachi is odd one from all the 4 given words. So Dronacharya award for sports coaching, Dhanvanti Ayurved award for what? For Ayurveda. So option number B is correct. That is Dhanvanti award for Ayurveda. So option number B is correct. So 3-6, like 3, 6, 4, 8, 6, 18, 8, 32, 10, 50. So we have to find the odd one. We have to find the odd one, which is odd here. If we see, like 6 plus 3 is what? That is 9. 4 plus 8, that is 12. 18 plus 6, 24. Okay, 8 plus 2, that is 40. And 50 plus 0. If you see that all are evens, but 9 is what? That is odd. So which is odd one from the given series? That is 3-6. That is option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Now move to the next, that is question number 146. Pointing to a photograph, woman said to a man, she is the only child of the sister of the only son of your parental grandfather. How is the man related to the person in the picture? Like sister, brother, father, sister, son, mother's brother, son. So the correct option is both. That is mother's brothers, sons. Like man's parental grandfather, then man's father, only sons, then only son sister, man, sister's only child. So pointing to a photographer, that is mother's brother's sons. So Nikhil walked towards east, that is, here is east, west, north, south. So Nikhil was walked towards east, that is how much? 30 kilometer. Took a left turn and walked 20 meter. Now from here he took left turn, that is 20 meter. He again took a left turn, now this, and walk how much? That is 30 meter, that is 30. Okay, so here is also a meter, 30 meter. Okay, now how far and in which direction he is from starting point? How far he is from how much? That is 20 meter. And in which direction? That is in what? If you see from there, is it north? That is 20 meter north. That is 20 meter north. Now some general knowledge questions. Okay. So question number 1 is, where was the UPI-UPU integration project launched at 28 Universal Postal Congress? So we have to give the answer. So where is the UPI-UPU integration project was launched? 28 Universal Postal Congress, Geneva, New York, Dubai, Paris. So where? So the correct answer is what? That is in Dubai. That is in Dubai. So UPI-UPU integration project was launched at 28th Universal Postal Congress in Dubai. So UPI-UPU integration links India Unified Payment Interface with the Universal Portal Union Interconnection Platform, that is UPU-IP, launched jointly by Indian Post, NIPL and UPU. Okay, where? In Dubai. In Dubai. Okay. Yes, Dubai. Divek, very good, Dubai. Now the next question is what? That is, by September 2025, how many gigawatts of non-fossil fuel power generation capacity has Indian officially achieved? That is 150 gigawatts, 175, 250, 500. Like how much? How much gigawatt of non-fossil fuel power generation capacity has Indian officially achieved? How much? How much, Devik? That is 250. That is 250 gigawatts. Okay. Now move to the next. That is question number 150. To whom has ISRO transferred its small satellite launch vehicle SSLV technology for independent production? DRDO, BHEL, BHEL, L&T, HAL. So the correct answer is what? That is HAL. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. To whom has ISRO transferred its small satellite launch vehicle SSLV technology? To which country has India recently announced a special economic package of $680 million? Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles. Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles. So the correct answer is what? The correct answer is Mauritius. During the state of visit of Mauritius Prime Minister Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam to India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a special economic package worth USD 680 millions approximately. At which of the following location was the 4th Coast Guard Global Summit 2025 organized? London, Rome, Tokyo, New Delhi. Where? At which of the following location was the 4th Coast Guard Global Summit 2025 organized? London, Rome, Tokyo, New Delhi. So the correct answer is Rome. Option number B. Next, which has become first government medical college to provide training on the 𝙤𝙬 robotic surgery system? 𝙤𝙬 robotic surgery system, which has become India's first government medical college to provide training on 𝙤𝙬 robotic surgery system. That is AIIMS Delhi, JIPMER, KGMU, PGMIR. So the correct answer is what? That is AIIMS Delhi. So the correct answer is what? That is AIIMS Delhi becomes the India's first government medical college to provide training on the 𝙤𝙬 robotic surgery system. Now, next is which cleanliness fortnight was observed from September 10 to October 2. September 10 to October 2. That is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Swachhta Hi Seva, Swachhotsav, Nirmal Pakhwada. What? That is Swachhta Hi Seva. So Swachhta Hi Seva fortnight was observed from September 10 to October 2. Swachhta Hi Seva. Cleanliness is a service. If you see, you can directly check. Next, which country has announced its withdrawal from UNESCO just 2 years after rejoining? What? Israel, USA, Britain, Russia. Which country? Which country has announced its withdrawal from UNESCO just 2 years after joining? That is USA. That is USA. Which deputy managing director of the International Monetary Fund IMF recently resigned from her post? Ansulakant, Geeta Gopinath, Kristalina Georgieva, Nirmala Sitharaman. So the correct answer was that is Geeta Gopinath. So Geeta Gopinath, deputy managing director of the International Monetary, that is IMF, recently resigned from her post. Geeta Gopinath. She served the first deputy managing director of International Monetary Fund IMF, the number 2 official at the organization. She announced her resignation from the post to return to her academic career at Harvard University. Which Indian app has won the WSIS Championship Award 2025 in Switzerland for digital governments? Umang, Meri Panchayat, DigiLocker, My Government. So the correct answer is what? That is Meri Panchayat. So Meri Panchayat app has won WSIS Championship Award 2025 in Switzerland for digital government. Next, what rank did India receive in Henley Passport Index 2025? 75th, 77, 80, 85th. So the correct answer is what? That is 85th. That is 85th. So option number D is correct. So India's receive in Henley Passport Index 2025 rank 85th rank. Next, with which country has India signed a historic free trade agreement? Free trade agreement, that is FTA, America, Australia, United Kingdom, France. So from which country India signed a historic free trade agreement? With Australia. So Australia is the correct answer. That is option number B. So with Australia, India signed a historic trade agreement. Okay, historic free trade agreement, that is FTA. Now, what percentage of foreign direct investment FDI has Ministry of Finance recently permit in the insurance sector? 49%, 51%, 74% or 100%? So the correct answer is what? That is 100%. 100% of the foreign direct investment FDI has Ministry of Finance recently permitted in the insurance sector. So the option number D is correct, that is 100%. So with which of the following has the ICC partnered to promote women's cricket? Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft. So we have to find which of the four given options is correct, and with ICC partnered to promote women's cricket. From which? That is Google. So option number B is correct. Google is the partner of ICC women's cricket. Next, at which of the following location was India's first mobile tempered glass factory inaugurated? So first tempered glass factory, okay, where? Gurugram, Pune, Noida, Bangalore. So in Noida. Noida is the correct answer. On which national highway has India's first multi-lane free flow MLFF toll system been launched? NH8, NH44, NH48, NH27. So the correct answer is what? That is Delhi Chennai. That is NH48. NH48, first multi-lane free flow MLFF toll system in India. Now, which Indian city was recently nominated by UNESCO for title Creative City of Gastronomy? Creative City of Gastronomy. Hyderabad, Delhi, Lucknow, Kolkata. That is Lucknow. Option number C is correct. So Lucknow was recently nominated by UNESCO for the title of Creative City of Gastronomy. Creative City of Gastronomy. So option number C is correct. That is Lucknow. What has India's national literacy rate become in the year 2023? So we have to give the answer. What was the literacy rate in 2023 to 2024? 87.7, 80.9, 82.4, 85.5. So the correct answer is what? That is 80.9% was the literacy rate in the year 2023-2024. 2023 to 2024. The book Rise of Hitman, written by 𝙂𝙋𝘼𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙎, is the story of which Indian cricketer? Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, Rohit Sharma, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So which cricketer? The correct answer is what? The Hitman. The Rise of Hitman is whom? For Rohit Sharma. For Rohit Sharma. The Rise of Hitman, Rohit Sharma. Next, which has become India's first legislative assembly recently to run entirely on solar power? Gujarat, Rajasthan, Kerala, Delhi. So Delhi has become India's first legislative assembly recently to run entirely on solar power. So option is D, that is Delhi. That is Delhi. The correct answer is Delhi. Now move to the next question, that is 168. Where was India's first underwater museum and artificial coral reef project recently launched? INS Virat, Goa, INS 𝘿𝙄𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙎, Maharashtra, INS Vikrant, Visakhapatnam, INS 𝘂𝙀𝙀𝙀. So the correct answer is what? That is INS 𝘿𝙄𝙎. So INS 𝘿𝙄𝙎, India's first underwater museum and artificial coral reef project recently launched. INS 𝘿𝙄𝙎, Maharashtra. INS 𝘿𝙄𝙎, Maharashtra. Next, which Bollywood actress has been appointed by Maldives as its global tourism and ambassador? Which actor? Deepika Padukone, Alia Bhatt, Katrina Kaif, Priyanka. So the correct answer is what? Katrina Kaif. Katrina Kaif has been appointed by Maldives as its global tourism ambassador. Okay. Now move to the next. That is question number 170. Which pharma company acquired Ranbaxy laboratories in 2040? So which pharma company? Cipla, Lupin, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy. So the correct answer is option C. So Sun Pharma company acquired Ranbaxy laboratories in 2014. In 2014. That is Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma acquired Ranbaxy to become India's largest pharma company. Which plan introduced the concept of Mahalanobis model? Mahalanobis model. First plan, second plan, third or fourth plan. So the correct answer is what? That is second plan. That is second plan. Repo rate is decided by SBI, RBI, Parliament, and NABARD. So the correct answer is what? That is repo rate is decided by RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So some aptitude questions, okay? So now we solve some aptitude questions, okay? So question first, in our division sum, the divisor is 12 times the question. So divisor is what? That is 12 times the question and 5 times the remainder. So divisor is 12 times, that is D is 12 times of what? Quotient and 5 times the remainder and 5 times the remainder, okay, according to the question. Okay, if remainder be 48, so if remainder be 48, then we have to find the dividend. Okay, if remainder be 48, we have to find the remainder. From this we can say that D is equals to 5 multiply 48. From this we can find that 5 multiply 48, we will get what? That is 240. That is 240. So divisor is what? That is 240. Now we can easily find out the question. The question it was, that is 240 divided by 12. 240 divided by 12 is what? That is quotient. So quotient is what? 12 1 0 12, 2 0 24, that is 20. So quotient is 20, divisor is 240, remainder is 48, and according to formula, that is dividend is equals to divi divisor multiply quotient plus r. Okay, so the formula is, so the equation is dividend is equals to divisor multiply quotient plus r. So dividend is what? That is dividend is equals to divisor. What is divisor? That is 240 multiply what is quotient? That is 20, and what is remainder? That is 48. So by solving this, we will get our dividend. So we will get our dividend, that is 4800 plus 48. So 8484. So option number D is correct. That is 48484. Option number D is correct. Now move to the next question, that is question number second of the aptitude. So what least number? So when we find out the least number, when we talking about least number, we have to find LCM. Okay, so what least number must be subtracted from 1 to 94 so that the remainder when divided by 9, 11, 13 will leave in each case, that is 6. What remainder? That is 6. So how to solve this question? So first we have to find the LCM of 9, 11 and 13. So the LCM of 9, 11, 13 we get 1287. That is 1287. That is 1287. So we can say that n is equals to 1287 k plus what? That is 6, because because 6 is remainder in every case when we subtract 194. So we have to find the number when what number we have to subtract from this to get remainder in each case when divided by 9, 11, 13. Okay, 9, 11 and 13. So we can say that according to this we can say that if we subtract 1987 from whom? That is if k is equals to 1, so n is equals to what? 1287 plus 6. 1287 plus 6. So what we get? That is 1293. That is 1293. That is 1293. And if we subtract 1294, 1293, we will get 1. We will get 1. So we will get 1. So 1 is the answer. That is 1. Option B. That is 1. Now we have to calculate the 16 by 16 by 2 plus, here is power of 9 1 by 2. 9 is the power of 1 by 2 plus, sorry, multiply 4 minus 2 power. 4 minus 2 power. So from there we will get 8 plus 3 multiply what? That is 4 minus 2, 2 square, that is 4. So 4, 8 plus what is 12, that is 20. So option number D is correct. That is 20. So option number D is correct. Now move to the next question. That is, find the value of 3 plus 2. That is 5 cube minus 2 multiply 5 divided by 5. Okay. From here 4 plus 1 is what? That is 5. We have to divide 5 by 5. We use board mass rule in this question. So 5 cube is what? That is 125. 5 cube is what? That is 125 minus 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 1, 2, 3 is the answer. That is option number A is correct. Option number A is correct. Now next question, that is question number 177. The LCM and HCF of two number is what? That is 428, 32 respectively. If one of the number is 204, then we have to find the other number. As we know, LCM into HCF is what? HCF is product of two numbers. Product of two numbers. So LCM and HCF is given in the question. So 4284 multiply, that is 32 upon 204. We have to find another number, that is second number. Okay. So 204 is divided by 4284 is divided by 204, we will get 21. So 21 multiply 32. From multiplying 21 and 32, we get another number. So what is the answer? The answer is 672. 672, that is A. That is A, 672. Question number 178. Two numbers are in the ratio, that is 8:17. So the two number ratio is what? That is 8:15. If their HCF is 4, their HCF is 4, the number are what? That is 32 and 60. As we know HCF, that is 8 multiply 4 and 15 multiply 4 is what? That is 32 and 60. So option number A is correct. Option number A is correct. Now move to the next, that is 179. So in question 179, the greatest possible length which can be used in measure exactly the length 7 meter, 3 meter, 85 centimeter, 12 meter, 95 centimeter is what? So we have to find the greatest possible. In greatest, we have to find HCF. So HCF of what? HCF of 7 meter, 3 meter, 85 centimeters, 3, that is 385, and 12 meter, 95, that is 1295. Okay. We have to find the HCF. So HCF is what? That is 35. Option number B. That is, if we see 7 meter, that is, here we take 700 because all are in meter and centimeter. So 700, 385 and 129. So when we find the HCF of all three numbers, we will get 35 centimeter. So answer is 135 centimeter. Next question, a container has 25% water in it and remaining is a sanitizer. Okay, on adding 16 liter of water, ratio gets reversed. Find the initial quantity of solution. So we have to find the initial quantity of the solution. As let solution be x, because we don't know what is the solution. So solution be x. Okay. Now water is what? How much? Water is how much? That is 25 upon 100 x. 25 upon 100 x, that is 25 ones are 25 and 25 fours are, that is x by 4. And how much is sanitizer? That is 75 upon 100x. That is 75 upon 100x, that is 3 by 4x. That is 3 by 4x. So water is x upon 4 plus 16, because 16 liters of water is added and we add 16 liter of water, the ratio become reverse. Okay, the ratio become reverse. It means what? That is x by 4 plus 16 upon, when we add 16 liters, so now the ratio is what? Now the ratio is what? That is a 25 ratio water sanitizer, that is 25 ratio 75, that is 1 ratio 3. Now the ratio reverse, that is 3 by 1, that is 3 by 1 and 3 by 4x. When we solve, we will get how much liter of solution is there. Okay, when we solve, we will get how much? X by 4 plus 16 is equals to 3 multiply 3 by 4x. Okay, x plus 8 is 16 4 is 64 is equals to 9x. So 8x is equals to 64, then x is equals to 8. So how much solution is there? So solution is 8 liters. So option number D is correct. How much solution is there? 8 liter of solution is there. Okay, now move to the next question. Next question is, okay, okay, there's some, it's okay. There's some problem. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, so the answer for question number 180 is 8 liters. Now move to the next question, that is question number 181. The price of cooking oil has increased by what? That is 25%. So if there is a cooking oil of 100 per liter, so 25% is increased, that is 125. If, for example, we are taking only example, if oil is 100 rupee per liter, so the price of cooking oil increased by 25%. Now the new price is what? That is 125. That is 125. Okay, the percentage of reduction that family should fact in the use of cooking oil so as not to increase the expenditure on this account is how much? Like how much? Like if increase, if price increase by x%, so we can directly use the formula. What formula? That is x upon 100 plus x multiply 100. So if we use this formula, we will get directly our answer. Okay, that is how much increase? That is 25. So, in the initial stage, what is the price? That is 100 plus 1, we can say that 100 plus 25 multiply 100, that is 25 upon 125 multiply 100. 25 upon 125, 25 upon 125 multiply 100, that is 20%. That is 20%. So option number C is correct. Option number C is correct. Now move to another question, that is A can complete a work in 6 days and B in 5 days. Okay, so A complete his work in 6 days, B complete in 5 days. So we take the LCM, that is total work. So 6 5 is 30 is the efficiency of A and 5 6 is 30. So 6 is the efficiency of whom? That is B. Now they work together, finish the job, receive 220 as wages. B share, like we have to find B share. So as we know, total is how much efficiency? That is 11. We have to find B share. So B is equals to how much? That is 6 upon 11 multiply 220. That is 20. That is 6 multiply 20. That is 120 rupees for B. That is option number A. Option number A is correct. That is 120 rupees. Now move to the next question. That is question number 183. So a train traveling at 100 km per hour overtakes a motorbike at 64 km per hour. So we have to find the relative speed. So both both train and motorbike are in same direction, so we have to find the relative speed for the same direction. So relative speed for the same direction is what? That is 100 minus 64. We will get our what? That is speed. So how much? That is 100 minus 64 is equals to what? That is 36 kilometer per hour. But if we see our answer in meter, and the time is also in second, so we have to convert 36 into meter per second. So how much? That is 36 multiply 5 by 18, that is 20 meter per second. 20 like 10 meter per second. 5 to the 10, that is 10 meter per second. Now time is what? That is 40 seconds. So we have to find the length of train. So length of train is what? That is speed into time, that is 40 multiply 10, that is 400 meter. As we know, speed is equals to distance upon time. In train question, distance is what? That is length of train. So length of train, that is distance, is equals to speed into time. So distance is what? That is length of train. So length of train is what? That is speed into time. So speed we have to find with the help of relative speed, both, because train and motorbike are in same direction. So in same direction, the relative speed, we use minus sign, that is v1 minus v2. In opposite direction, we use plus sign, that is v1 plus v2. So with the help of this formula, we have find our what? That is 400 meters. So option number C is correct. Okay, so today there is some easy questions are there. Okay, some easy questions are there. So every question is a jam. So you have to, I think you should try all these questions. Aptitude is very important. Okay, so you do not take it easily. Okay, so you have to work on your aptitude. So you have to, at least you should try to solve each and every questions. Okay. Now move to another question, that is question number 184. The cost price of 5 kg of sugar is how much? Is 5 kg of sugar and 10 kg of milk is rupees 10 and rupees 80. So that means cost price of 5 kg of sugar is how much? That is 70 rupees. And the cost of 10 kg of milk is how much? That is rupees 80 per kg respectively. On selling 10% profit, when someone is sell, he got 10% of profit in sugar and 20% on milk. So what was the selling price of the item? So we have to find the selling price of all the items. For sugar and milk, we have to find the selling price of sugar and milk. Okay, so if we find the SP of sugar, selling price of sugar, so selling price of sugar is what? That is 5 multiply 70. 5 multiply 70, that is 350, that is 350. SP with 10% profit, SP with 10% profit is what? That is 350 multiply 110 upon 100. So we will get our SP of sugar, that is 385. Okay, that is 385. Similarly, we find the SP of milk. So SP of milk is, that is 10 multiply 80, that is 800. Now how much profit? That is 20%. SP with 20% profit. SP with 20% profit, that is how much? That is 800 multiply 120 upon 100. So 0 cancel 0. So 12, that is 960. So we have to find the total SP of all the items. So 835 plus total SP, that is 385 plus 960, that is 5 rupees 1345, rupees 1345. That is option number B is correct. Option number B is correct. Now move to the next question, that is question number 185. Sorry. The total age of A and B is 12 years. The total age of A and B is 12 years, more than the total age of B and C. That is A plus B is 12 more of A plus C. So C is how many years younger than A? So A plus B is what? Is equals to B plus C. Okay, is equals plus B plus C. So B cancel by B, so is equals to what? That is 12 plus C. That is 12 plus C. So we can say that C is elder than A. We can say that C is elder than A because C is how much? That is A minus 12. So C is elder than A. Option number C is correct. Next. Now some journal English questions. Okay, so some journal English questions are: choose the word which has the opposite meaning of antis. Opposite meaning of antis. ENTICE. Opposite meaning of antis. So antis is to pursue. Antis is to pursue, attract, or tempt some to do something by offering them something pleasant or what? That is advantageous. That is advantageous. So what is the opposite of antis? Peace, repulse, attract, repeat. So the correct answer is what? That is repulse. Option number B. That is repulse. If we see, antis meaning is attract, tempt, lure. So repulse is opposite. That is reveal, drive away, disgust. So the advertisement enticed customers to buy product. The bad smell repulsed the visitors. Now synonym of offensive. Synonym of offensive. So offensive is like causing anger. Like what? That is causing anger or deep disappearance. So horrible, kind, good, pleasant. So the synonym of offensive is what? That is horrible. That is horrible. Option A. So if you see horrible, very unpleasant or terrible. If you see kind, good and pleasant are in a good way. That is, kind is friendly and helpful, good is positive or beneficial, and pleasant, enjoyable or agreeable. So horrible is the opposite of offensive. So one word substitute. A game in which no one wins. A game in which no one wins is said to be what? Drawn, postponed, abandoned, obsolete. So drawn is the correct answer. So drawn is a game, match or contest which neither side wins it and it's tie. So the cricket match was drawn. So the cricket match is drawn. If you see postponed, that is delay, abandoned, that stop before completion, and obsolete, no longer in use. So the tube light broke when it was hit by a cricket ball. So we can use opposite of it, that is gave way. That is gave way. To break, collapse or stop functioning under pressure. So the tube light gave away. So something gave away. So the tube light gave away when it was hit by a cricket ball. So choose the word which has the opposite meaning of opprobrious. Opprobrious. Opprobrious, meaning of criticism or expression is scorn. The meaning of opprobrious is like expressing scorn or criticism. So respectful, miserable, inspiring, imitable. So the correct answer is what? That is respectful. If we see the opposite of opprobrious is means that shameless, graceful, insulting or deserving strong criticism. So it opposite is respectful. Respect is like showing respect towards someone and administration. And choose the word which has the similar meaning of stentorian. Stentorian. Violent, misbegotten, loud, stately. So if you see, stentorian is an object to use describe a voice or sound that is extremely loud, powerful and booming. So if we see the similar meaning of stentorian, that is loud. That is loud. So if you see violent, involving force or aggression. Misbegotten, badly conceived or illegitimate. Loud, having a strong, powerful sound similar to stentorian. Next is One word substitution. A narrow stretch of land connecting two large bodies of land is said to be what? That is isthmus. That is isthmus. You have studied in your geography chapter or in geography classes. Isthmus. We said it to be isthmus. Choose a word which has the opposite of hirsute. Hirsute. That is saggy, bald, erudite, glorious. So if we see 𝙂𝙋𝘼𝙎 is like hairy, having more hairs. So if we see saggy, bald, erudite, or glorious, so the opposite is what? That is bald. That is bald. Hirsute means hairy, shaggy, or covered with hairs. Its opposite is bald, which means having little or no hairs. Saggy, hairy, similar to hirsute. Erudite, learned to scholarly, glorious, magnificent, or splendid. So the opposite is what? That is bald. 𝘙𝙬𝘾𝙬. 𝘙𝙬𝘾𝙬. We have to find the similar meaning of 𝘙𝙬𝘾𝙬. We have to find the similar meaning of 𝘙𝙬𝘾𝙬. Someone who is calm. 𝘙𝙬𝘾𝙬 means someone who is calm, cool-headed, and not easily excited or emotional. So if we see practical, slavery, dishonest, calm. So the correct answer is what? That is calm. That is calm. We have to find a synonym. So 𝘙𝙬𝘾𝙬 is someone who is calm. So calm is the similar word. One word substitute. A writing or a speech in praise of someone. Etymology, eulogy, bibliophile, honorarium. So the correct answer is what? That is eulogy. If we see etymology, study of origin of words, bibliophile, a person who loves books, and honorarium, payment given for service, usually professional work. So a eulogy, that is a eulogy is a speech or writing that praises someone. Okay. Now the next is what? That is choose the word which has the opposite meaning of ensconce. Ensconce, opposite of ensconce. If we see ensconce, to establish or settle someone or something in a safe, snug, or highly comfortable place or position. So the answer is what? That is expose. That is expose. Now choose the word which has the similar meaning of mundane. Mundane. So mundane, something very ordinary, routine, or lacking excitement. So special, heretic, worldly, global. So if we see, the answer is worldly. Worldly. So if we special, related to space, heretic, a person holding beliefs contrary to established doctrine, global is worldwide. So the mundane, ordinary, common, or related to worldly. Next is one substitution. Prohibited by law or treaty from being imported or exported is what? That is contraband. That is contraband. That is contraband, illegal goods prohibited from trade across borders. Choose the word which has the opposite meaning of cacophonous. 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 Cacophonous, having an unpleasant, loud, or discordant mixture of sounds. So melodious, loud, sonorous, harsh. So the answer is what? That is melodious. Cacophonous, melodious. Next, choose the word which has the similar meaning of loch. Similar meaning of loch. That is gauche, fine, brilliant, indecent. So the answer is loch. That is someone or something that is consensual, disreputable, or of questionable morality. So the answer is what? That is indecent. That is indecent. So indecent meaning is immoral, improper, or not respectable. If we see brilliant, that is very intelligent, fine is excellent or satisfactory, and gauche, socially awkward, lacking of refinement. So these are the questions from journal English. So we have covered our journal knowledge, aptitude, reasoning, and journal English. So very all the best for your exam. So please try to solve each and every question from every subject, like aptitude, reasoning questions. So try to solve, try to try to give more time to your study. Okay, so very all the best for exam. We will meet in our next model paper. So take care. Thank you.